Hi everyone, it's Amanda. How are you all doing? It is the 10th of the 10th, 2018. And I'm saying that slowly because I'm just landing in this date. Because I've spent all morning thinking it was the 11th. And I'm not going crazy. It's because I've been working to a deadline. Every 11th of every month, most months anyway, I send out the sessions for people that have signed up to the level 1 Archangel Metatron work. And so I've been working on this for the past 5 days or so, do a couple of sessions a day. They all get stored in a draft box on my email account. And then I press send, so they all go out together on the 11th. So I duly sat down this morning and I pushed all of the emails to go out, bar one actually that I've just done. And I thought, good, okay, 11th, here we are again. What shall I say about the 11th? And then I suddenly thought, hold on, it's the 10th. It's not just the 10th, it's the 10th of the 10th. It's the 1010 portal. So perfect actually that those sessions were sent out on the 1010. I'm sure that's what Metatron intended anyway. I've never ever done that before. But more than that, I feel a bit like Jodie Whittaker. Do you know who Jodie Whittaker is? She is the first female time traveller via Doctor Who. Doctor Who, long-running TV, iconic series in the UK. It's been going since the late 60s, I think. We've all grown up with Doctor Who. I don't really watch it anymore, to be honest. My time was Tom Baker when he used to be Doctor Who. Loved him in that. Anyway, on Saturday night, the new Doctor appeared because they transform, they regenerate. And the new one is Jodie. And it's the first time a woman's ever been one. So it's like, yeah, for the girls. That's who I feel like I am today. It's like spirits brought me back to this date, which I energetically nearly missed. I nearly missed it. And how interesting that the first card that I've just pulled, I'm going to do a little reading, is from the Akashic Tarot by Sharon Klinger and Sandra Taylor. Just to get that in. The first card as I was shuffling was this one. You'll just have to believe me for that. Card number 10 came out. And it's called The Light of the World. Some of you might have grown up with a painting that was called The Light of the World. I did. It shows Christ knocking on this door. This is a different interpretation. It's not necessarily Christ that's knocking on the door. It's supposed to be the divine that is knocking on the door. But unfortunately, the divine is knocking on the door on the 10th, but this person is far too busy to even notice. Far too busy. What are they busy with? Maybe something that is very valid, to be honest, or maybe not. But they're busy. And they are not aware of this knocking. I'm going to read you just a little bit because it's perfect. It says, an old sage holds a glowing lantern and knocks on a door with no latch. A young man inside is too distracted to answer the knock. Your divine being is trying to get your attention. All it takes is a moment of your awareness to open the door. Though your life may be busy, the opportunity now presents itself for you to move into a higher awareness. It's a great time to open to your higher self and all its wisdom and powers. It is your soul, your eternal being, who approaches, but it is up to you and only you to open the door. You do that by taking real and regular action in knowing and feeling the wise and radiant being that you are forever. And then there's a bit about the fact that we feel distracted, we feel unworthy sometimes of even hearing the knock of the divine because we feel we're not ready. We're waiting for something else. Well, it feels like today is a day which is important energetically. It's about opening up a doorway within ourselves I guess it's about opening up our heart, but it's about opening up to potential, to gifts, to blessings that wish to come in. And the 10 energy is also very interesting because 10 is linked into the energy of the Wheel of Fortune, destiny, fate. In colour terms, bottle 10 has these colours. Green, well no, it's not green, it's lime green and gold. Lime green linking into the divine feminine, also linking into planting seeds for the future, the olive tree that will grow, and the gold on top. Just being distracted slightly there because I was remembering something that I watched on TV a few nights ago, and it was to do with a region in Italy. It was the olive trees in Italy, in this region, that are being affected by a virus, a blight. And in fact, it was really very upsetting because to preserve a lot of the olive groves, they are having to put almost like quarantine areas around huge acres of trees that are already diseased. So they are having to kill and cut down and burn a lot of trees, olive trees that are already, that are beautiful, there is nothing wrong with them, to safeguard the future, the trees in the distance, if that makes sense. And as I'm sitting here, I'm actually thinking for the first time, which I hadn't realised when I was watching the programme, how symbolic that is. Because the olive tree, I haven't got my spray here to show you, but my bottle of hope, the hope spray, has an olive branch on it. So to me, the olive tree is also about hope. There's something coming in about sacrifice, sacrifice of some for the benefit of the others in the long term. And it feels like it's linked into the divine feminine energy as well. Somehow the rise of the divine feminine energy will be protected. Whatever needs to happen to ensure the survival of it, not just the survival of it, the thriving power of it, will be done to ensure that we make it through these times at the moment that feel quite dark and quite threatening, but the energy of hope will be preserved and the energy of the divine feminine will be preserved as well. Yeah. So that's just something that came in on a tangent. Let me go back to what I was actually saying. Just gonna have a sip of coffee. We were talking about this, weren't we? We were talking about the Wheel of Fortune, destiny. Having done quite a bit of client work recently, there's been a card that keeps coming up all the time, and it is the card of destiny. Feels like we're moving into times which are destined. Feels as though that's in the collective, but it also feels as though it's in the personal, in our personal lives. It's more been about our personal lives, destined times. The thing is, though, you've still got to be aware, you've still got to be awake for destiny to fully materialise and be benefited from. So this card, I'm going to pull a few other cards. I think I'll pull 10 cards actually. So this is our first one. And I'm sitting up in my loft, so you're not going to be able to see the cards, but it's because my house is being decorated. And there's a bit of noise downstairs. Feels great though. We've lived here for 11 years and hasn't been painted for 11 years. So it desperately needs it. So there's all this fresh energy coming in, which is great. yesterday, and it's a female painter who's arrived, and she's just like this little, she's like a powerhouse. She's doing such a good job and doing it so efficiently. And there's none of that sort of like, can I have a cuppa, love? Sorry guys, but that's been the experience when men have come to decorate in the past. She just comes in, does the job really well, really efficiently. Brilliant. But the point is, when she was putting the new colour on the walls, God, it was good to see the last of the old colour, with all the scrapes and marks. And the colour that I've chosen for the hallway, as I'm shuffling the cards, is called Apple and Pears. Apple and Pears is Cockney rhyming for stairs. I think I'm right in saying that. It's a greeny blue, but it's very, 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 very pale. But it's not white. Got to have some colour. Right, 1010 portal, Archangel Metatron. What is the message? Why have you got me sitting here? Like that, very much. First card that comes up, can you see that? This says on track. You are on track. There's a person here, they're about to get on a train. They are on track. Wow, this is exciting. Because I tell you what, I don't think that guy necessarily even knows where he's going. Do we really know where we're going? Where's this train going to? What was I just saying about destiny and fate? But I tell you what, he's turned up. The train is there. It's on time. All he has to do is get on board. It's the same message. All that you have to do is open the door. The One of Scrolls, on track. Okay, what goes with that then? That just looks so British to me as well, that station. It reminds me of, I come from the north of England, reminds me of stations up near Harrogate or Knaresborough or York. It's like a slightly old-fashioned feel to the stations, but beautiful as well. Anyway, that's by the by. 1010. What other energies have we got here, Metatron, please? Even the two cards, 10, 1 and 0 makes 1, and then we've got 1 again. 1 is always about a new beginning. 10 and 1 make 11. The 11th tomorrow is going to be significant as well. Right, come on, let's have some more cards. That one. Archangel Gabriel. Yeah, that makes sense to me. If there's a new beginning coming, if something is knocking at the door, destiny is calling, who is the messenger angel? The messenger angel is Gabriel. Gabriel is always the one who usually brings news of something that is impending, be it a birth, a new job, a new relationship, a new idea, a new way of being. Think about Gabriel. Think about the stories in the Bible. He's the one who came to Mary. He told her something really shocking. He appears at pivotal moments. So we've got Archangel Gabriel there at this pivotal moment, which feels as though it's now. Spring and autumn are coming up as seasons. Well, autumn or fall, as some people call it, we're entering here in the UK at the moment. For other people, I guess you're entering springtime. So again, sorry, just to repeat myself here, that is saying to me, again, it's indicating the time that we're in right now. I think I'm correct in saying we are either in autumn or fall or in springtime, dependent whether you are in the southern hemisphere or the northern hemisphere. It doesn't matter whether you're in the north or the south, this message stands. Okay, what's the next message then? 5, card 5. The Queen of Keys. Will, wisdom and mind. I have never seen that card before, and I've used this deck quite a few times. I'm actually fascinated what that feels like. That's a real key. I'll come back to that in a moment. Initiation and the Count Saint Germain. Wow, my goodness me. Initiation. How many cards have we got? 7. We need 3 more cards. What goes with the Queen of Keys? Don't understand why she's there right now. What goes with her? Uriel and the Sphinx. I'll photograph these cards and put them in a link. 2 more. These 2. Intricacies and Industry. The Willow. And actually I have got an 11th card. So that is the 6 of Forces, the Waterfall. Okay, I'm just going to have to take in the energy of all this. And I'm sorry if you're like, come on, give us the message, give us the message. I'm going to take my time, because today is all about being present and being in the moment. So, I know you know that. Right, I'm going to go to this card, card number 20, Will, Wisdom and Mind. And I'm going to look up what that symbol is. Okay, I've looked up this symbol, okay, and it's called the Trinity, it's linked into the Trinity, basically. It's a Celtic design, and it links into Spirit, Mind and Body, Father, Son and Holy Ghost, Mother, Father and Child, Past, Present and Future, Power, Intellect and Love, Creator, Destroyer and Sustainer, Creation, Preservation and Devastation, Thought, Feeling and Emotion, Mother, Maiden and Crone, the Other World, the Mortal World and the Celestial World. I've taken that from a website which is called What's Your Sign. It's got more information on there if you want to look at it. But it says, anywhere that you see a triple feature in Celtic culture, i.e. today, in this reading, it results in something powerful and meaningful. So, wow, where to go with this? Where to go with this? There's something deeply mystical about today. There's something very, very powerful about today. There's something that is linking us to different timelines, different realities, different ways of looking at the world, different paths. And it's as though we've all been granted access to this place. And obviously everyone's going through the same date, I realise that, but the ones that are really being brought, like I am right now, to sit and think about the meaning of today, we're being given the opportunity to propel forward in some way because we have gone through some form of initiation. I mean, my God, I feel like I've been through an initiation this year. I don't feel I'm the same person I was at the start of this year. I don't actually feel I'm the same person that I was from July. That's how much the energies have just shifted and changed me. But it's not just me, it's many of you that watch me. We're not the same people we were 3-4 months ago. We're just not. It's been an intense period of initiation. Keep going back to this card, Will, Wisdom and Mind. It shows a crown. The crown is bestowed upon the successful initiate, the person that's gone through some trials, some tribulations, some tests, some challenges, and has risen to them, who has learnt from them, who has processed, who has integrated, who has moved up a level, basically. There's two elements here in particular that feel very powerful right now. One is water and one is fire. Look at the card. We've got the energy of water and fire. Water as an energy at the moment is in the news. This morning, there's been horrendous flash flooding in Mallorca. And Mallorca as an island came to me in my energy within the last 24 hours in a couple of ways. I've got a couple of friends and clients who live there, and I just noticed posts of theirs, or, you know, they'd been in my consciousness anyway. And then I booked an appointment with a chiropractor this afternoon, and he's like, oh, I'll be back from Mallorca by midday. I'll see you at 4. Mallorca, kept hearing about Mallorca. Turn on the news this morning. I think there's 6 people dead. Flash flooding. It's pretty unheard of. There's flooding coming to Florida in the wake of the Hurricane Michael. And probably other hurricanes that are forming behind that. Love to anybody that's in the path of that. Water. Massive, massive cleansing. Next to the energy of fire. Balancing these two energies out within ourselves. Our fiery side, our motivated, passionate side, our masculine energy, but also balancing out the water within us, our emotional self, our sensitivity, our softness. Can you have both? Yes, you can, within yourself, but they need to be balanced. And then the Trinity here that's being really talked about, over and above the other ones that I mentioned: will, wisdom and mind. Makes me think of divine will versus my will. Makes me think of wisdom versus knowledge. I talked about that yesterday on Facebook. There's a big difference between having knowledge and actually being wise. And then mind over spirit. Will, wisdom and mind. What else have we got going on here? We've got the energy of the willow tree. One of my favourite trees. I would love to have a willow tree. I think they're so beautiful. And they flow, don't they? There's something about flow in this reading, because I've also got this card, which is the waterfall. So water by nature flows. The willow tree can't do anything else but flow. It doesn't have rigid branches that might snap in the wind. It's floppy. It's floppy, it flows, it waves. It's what we need to be at this time. I also want to say with these two cards, the willow and the waterfall, they are indicating to me this rush of fluid energy, vibrational light that wants to flow in between now and I'm hearing the end of the year. There's like a rush of energy coming in. And it feels like it starts today. It's like it's knocking. Are you going to open and allow it? This feels like unfinished business. Things that should have happened already in an 11 year, but haven't. It's like a rush of energy. I'm just feeling like this rush of energy coming in with these cards. And illumination. Look at the light on the willow tree. Illumination. An unstoppable force, to be perfectly honest. Linking back into the Wheel of Fortune. Destiny. Destiny is an unstoppable force. Go back to that first card, the train. It's actually got a head of steam on it. It's an old steam train. It's temporarily stopped. It's not going to be stopping for long. It's your choice. You're going to get on it, or is it going to go off without you? You're destined to be on that train. You've already bought the ticket, pre-incarnation. It's time to get on board. I'm hearing like the toot toot in my head. That's what I'm hearing. It's like the train's actually quite impatient. Toot toot. Come on, you going to get on board or not? Now, in this season, autumn and fall or spring. And you've worked really hard to get to this point. Not only have we got the card of initiation, and it's linked to Saint Germain, so it's implying a lot of purification has also happened. Saint Germain linking to the violet flame. You've let a lot go. You've transmuted a lot of stuff. You are before the court of Saint Germain. You're ready to be initiated. And it's come about through sheer, hard, bloody work. Look at that. The card of intricacies and industry. It's about somebody working hard. Master of their craft. And they've done it with love. When I say working hard, doesn't mean it's been something that hasn't been done with grace, but it's still been hard work to get to this point. And now we just need to flow. The two cards I don't understand that are here, that I'm going to ask for clarification on. Well, I understand them, but I don't understand why they're here yet. Are these two. The Queen of Keys, who's standing, surveying, looking out. And it came with this energy of the Sphinx and Archangel Uriel. So let me just feel into that. Okay, thank you. Uriel is reminding me that he is the archangel who goes first. He goes in front. He will have gone in front of that train to make sure the tracks are clear. Okay? It'll all be mapped out. The Sphinx represents the past. In a way, it also represents the future. The Sphinx is almost like the Tardis. That's what I'm being told. The Sphinx is like the Tardis. It represents our Tardis. If you don't understand what the Tardis is, you haven't watched Doctor Who, but the Tardis basically is this phone box that the Doctor goes into. And the Doctor can set the course for the Tardis to go anywhere in the universe. Absolutely anywhere. As I'm looking at this card here, the train, I'm feeling the same message. Destiny's knocking. Where do you want to go? And there's a moon in this card. Cycles of the moon are important. I'm going to pull, though, another one to try to get some more information on these two. They feel separate somehow. The Queen of Keys and Uriel and the Sphinx. Okay. What are you trying to convey, Metatron, by the Queen of Keys? sort of hearing him say, as I'm looking at her, there she is, the Queen, surveying the land. I'm almost hearing, well, I'm hearing him say she was always the one in control anyway. And we're talking about patriarchy here. We're talking about collective stuff. It's like she's looking out, she's been looking out for many, many years at the way the world has been playing out, at the way her family line has been playing out, at how the ancestors behaved, all of that. It's like she's looking out almost with eyes of a time traveller, and she's surveying those fields, and she's seeing the past. She's seeing the battles that existed on those fields. She's seeing the bloodshed that went on in those fields. But she's always had the vision to see the future as well. And there is just this scenery of peace and tranquility. She was always the one in control. How ironic. How many male warriors went before her who pushed her aside, who felt that she didn't matter, that she had no power. Yet the only person that is still standing there is her. The men of old have gone. She's awaiting the arrival of the new ones. Let's take this up to 13 cards. 13, the energy of mastery as well. So we've got 11. Let's have 2 more, Metatron. I also want to say that she's carrying on speaking to me. She's also saying that she had such love for the men that went out and did that. The men that went out and battled. The men that had to play their games in the way that was scripted by the universe. And she has such compassion for that as well. She had to stand by and watch. It's almost like the divine feminine energy talking. She had to stand by and watch. And to stand by and watch takes an awful lot of strength. It's like the mother who has to stand back and watch her child fail, because they won't listen. She has to stand back and let them make their own mistakes. That takes strength. It also takes strength because it's about allowing somebody else to follow their own birthright, their own path, even if that is difficult. There is real strength and love coming from her. And I'm reminded of the olive trees that I was talking about at the beginning of this. She's playing the long game. She's always played the long game. And ultimately, she's the one that's there in the end. She's gone through the initiation. Two more cards. And wow, the wisdom of that divine feminine. It's like bringing up all this stuff about God is male. Well, God is both male and female. This is the female face of God. It's the female face of God. 2 more cards for 10-10. But whenever you watch this will be perfect. I'm aware that in New Zealand it's already the 11th. You're time travellers, remember? You can come back. 10:10. Conclusion, Metatron. What was this energy about? Why do we have to stop? To reflect. Look at that, card number 19. 1 and 9 make 10. To reflect. What goes with that? What goes with that? Diversity. All of these, there's a big message coming through here about, we've got a boat now. We had a train earlier. To do with, there's a bit of a pause. There's a bit of a pause. Can you see? This guy's pausing. He's not quite yet on the train. This yacht is probably moored. It's not zooming across the lake, is it? It's just having a moment before the action starts. And we diversify. Change is here. The Wheel of Fortune is here. Diversity beckons. I want to put this card with this one. I've just talked to you about this card. Look here now. It's almost like, again, we've got another image of a lady. And this time, for the first time in God knows how many thousands of years, she's able to look out on a different vista, a different landscape. She is looking out, can you see? And it's not just, I mean, it's beautiful, but it's probably a bit boring after a while just looking at that. This is a bit more interesting. Even the sky is more interesting. Okay, the cloud is broken up. You can see shapes within it. There is colour. There is, what is there? Let me have a look. There's a river. There's a river. There's a river. There is something like gorse. There are buildings. It's just a more interesting vista. And I'll tell you what, the other thing is, here, she feels like she's just waiting. She's got a book, but she's read the book. She knows the book inside out. Here, can you see there's all these different scrolls on the table, okay? She's reading one of them, but she hasn't even started on any of this yet. This is exciting. This is new stuff that wants to come into our lives. It's new stuff that wants to come into the world as well. But it's about us today. It's about just being present enough to hear the knock. So let's just end this with Magenta. Metatron Magenta. And it's the bridge between heaven and earth, but it's a perfect energy just to make us be present. Let's just be fully present for one moment with each other and with spirit. Breathing in Magenta. Breathing out Magenta. Breathing in Magenta. Breathing out Magenta. Being Magenta. Living Magenta. Holding Magenta energy. Magenta on the colour spectrum is a really interesting colour to talk about, because in terms of how it appears, the chemicals within, or the way the eyes work, the cones within the eyes, it creates a shade that isn't really possible in terms of the traditional colour spectrum. Magenta is about magic. It's about something unexpected. It's about something new. But you've got to be present to be able to hear it, see it, taste it, welcome it. I encourage each of us to be brave enough to stop, to be still, and to open the door. Much love, everyone. Back soon. Bye-bye for now.